Have you ever heard of a bear so fierce it was known as the Terror of Mysore? This isn't a grizzly or a polar bear, it's a sloth bear. In the Nagvara hills of India, one sloth bear killed 12 people and injured dozens more, attacking with such brutality that locals believed it sought revenge after a kidnapped girl was rescued from its clutches. Join us as we uncover the chilling tale of the Mysore sloth bear and the legendary hunter Kenneth Anderson, who finally put an end to its reign of terror. Welcome to Savage Tales, where we dive into the most intense and unforgettable animal encounters from around the world. Whether it's the cunning tactics of predators, the harrowing escapes of prey, or the legendary clashes between man and beast, we've got you covered. In today's episode, we uncover the chilling story of the Mysore sloth bear, a creature whose reign of terror in the Nagvara hills of India left 12 people dead and dozens injured. Was it a thirst for revenge or something even more sinister? We'll explore the legend and the reality behind this fearsome beast and the heroic efforts of Kenneth Anderson, the man who brought its rampage to an end. Buckle up, because this tale is not for the faint-hearted. If you love gripping tales of wildlife and survival, make sure to hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon so you never miss an episode. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it. Stay tuned, because the wildest stories are just a click away. Savage Tales, where the wild things are more than just stories. Meet the sloth bear, a creature typically known for its shy and reclusive nature. But in the Nagvara hills, east of the town of Arsikere, 105 miles northwest of Bangalore in the Mysore state, one bear shattered this perception with a reign of terror. The bear made its home in the boulder-strewn hillocks, coming down to forage in the fields. As it grew bolder, it began to harass people both during the day and at night. In typical sloth bear fashion, the animal attacked its victims' faces with claws and teeth. Survivors often lost one or both eyes, their noses, or had their cheeks bitten through. Those less fortunate had their faces completely torn from their heads. At least 3 of the victims had been partially eaten. The first attacks struck fear into the hearts of the local population. The bear's brutal methods and increasing boldness turned everyday life into a constant struggle for survival. This wasn't just a rogue animal, it was a predator that had developed a taste for human flesh, leaving a trail of terror in its wake. The story of the Mysore sloth bear's reign of terror took a dramatic turn when Kenneth Anderson, a seasoned hunter, received an urgent postcard from his friend Alan Bucks. Bucks's 22-year-old son had become the bear's latest victim, fatally mauled at 9 p.m. after unintentionally disturbing the bear while it was feeding on fallen figs. Anticipating a straightforward hunt, Anderson packed lightly, just an electric torch, a .405 Winchester rifle, and a single change of clothes. He arrived at the shrine between Arsikere and Shimoga early in the evening, ready to take on the beast. Anderson planned to wait until darkness to find and shoot the bear. He started his search near the fig trees where the bear had been feeding, walking 1.5 miles without spotting any sign of the animal. Undeterred, Anderson then scoured the nearby groundnut fields, but his efforts were in vain. After returning to the shrine, he made 2 more tours throughout the night, each proving unsuccessful. At noon the next day, Anderson was taken to the mouth of what was thought to be the bear's cave. After throwing stones into the crevice with no results, he was left with no choice but to return to Bangalore, asking Bucks to inform him by telegram if the bear struck again. Anderson's initial attempt to hunt the bear had ended in frustration, but the story was far from over. As the bear's attacks continued, the urgency to stop it grew. Despite Kenneth Anderson's best efforts, the elusive Mysore sloth bear remained at large, continuing its brutal attacks on the local population. Anderson's initial hunt had ended in frustration, but he was determined to put an end to the bear's reign of terror. 1 month later, 2 woodcutters in Sakrapatna, a small town between Chikmagalur and Kadur, fell victim to the bear's savage attacks. One was fatally mauled, sparking new urgency in the hunt for the beast. Anderson was contacted by the district forest officer of Chikmagalur, who requested his immediate assistance. Anderson asked for precise coordinates, and 10 days later he learned the bear was residing in a hillock near a footpath leading to a lake called Ayonkere. Setting up his headquarters in a small house owned by the Mysore Forest Department, Anderson prepared for another hunt. But this time, the stakes were even higher. At 4:30 the next afternoon, a man rushed to Anderson's bungalow with dire news. The bear had mauled his brother, a cattle grazer, near the bear's suspected lair. He recounts the tension of lying in wait, the heart-pounding moments of close encounters, and the raw fear that gripped him. Armed with a rifle, a torch, and accompanied by a few helpers, Anderson journeyed 6 miles into the dense jungle. However, his helpers refused to go further as they approached a heavily scrubbed hill. Following the general directions, Anderson searched through the thick brush and eventually heard the faint moans of the victim. He found the cattle grazer unconscious and severely mutilated at the foot of a tree. Realizing the man was dying, Anderson tried to carry him to safety but sprained his ankle and collapsed. Tragically, the victim died at 5 in the morning. Anderson himself was later found by forest officials and a dozen villagers and was hospitalized in Chikmagalur for a week before resuming the hunt. Despite his injuries, Anderson's resolve never wavered. The hunt for the Mysore sloth bear was far from over. The next phase of this relentless pursuit would prove to be even more challenging. Despite Kenneth Anderson's efforts, the elusive Mysore sloth bear continued its reign of terror. During his absence, the bear had mauled 2 more men along the path of Yonkeri Lake. Now Anderson was back in Sakrapatna, ready to end the beast's savage attacks once and for all. Upon arriving in Sakrapatna, Anderson learned that the bear had taken to visiting fields bordered by borum trees, a mile from the village. Determined to intercept the bear, Anderson devised a plan. At 5 p.m., Anderson arrived at the site and settled at the foot of the largest tree. As night fell, he hoped the bear would come within shooting range. The hours passed slowly. The night was still and tense, with only the sounds of the forest breaking the silence. At roughly 11 p.m., Anderson's vigilance paid off. He heard the faint sounds of the bear digging for roots in the distance. The anticipation was palpable. An hour later, the bear approached the borum tree. Anderson's heart raced as he prepared for the encounter. With steady hands, Anderson shone his torch at the bear. The light startled the creature, causing it to rear up on its hind legs in alarm. Seizing the moment, Anderson took aim and fired his .405 Winchester rifle. The bullet struck the bear in the chest. The bear collapsed to the ground, its reign of terror finally brought to an end. Anderson's skill and determination had prevailed. As the villagers arrived at the scene, relief washed over them. The threat that had haunted their lives for so long was finally over. This harrowing encounter was a testament to Anderson's courage and perseverance. The story of the Mysore sloth bear had come to a close, but the legend of Kenneth Anderson's bravery would live on. Sloth bears are native to the Indian subcontinent, and Mysore's lush landscapes provide the perfect environment for these unique animals. Unlike their name suggests, sloth bears are far from sluggish. They are active and agile, often seen foraging for food, digging for termites, and climbing trees. Today, sloth bears in Mysore are protected by stringent conservation efforts. Organizations and wildlife reserves work tirelessly to ensure these magnificent animals can thrive in their natural habitat while minimizing human-wildlife conflict. Sloth bears are a crucial part of Mysore's biodiversity. They help maintain the balance of the ecosystem by controlling insect populations and dispersing seeds. While the Mysore sloth bear's story is one of fear and conflict, it also serves as a reminder of the importance of wildlife conservation. By understanding and protecting these creatures, we ensure that future generations can appreciate the rich biodiversity of Mysore. We've traveled through the wild heart of Mysore, exploring the harrowing saga of the Mysore sloth bear, a tale of terror, bravery, and survival. From the bear's devastating attacks on villagers to the relentless pursuit by hunter Kenneth Anderson, this story is a powerful reminder of the complex relationship between humans and wildlife. Kenneth Anderson's determination to end the bear's reign of terror and the subsequent conservation efforts highlight the importance of understanding and protecting our wildlife. Thank you for joining us on this gripping episode of Savage Tales Animal Encounters. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, share it with fellow wildlife enthusiasts, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us bring more incredible stories of nature's wildest encounters. Stay tuned for more thrilling tales from the animal kingdom. Savage tales, where the wild things are more than just stories. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to stay tuned for our next adventure. See you in the wild.